What up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Karam the Sun. We got another little go around with this official things, Essex County edition here. Essex County, but also something that's really, really meaningful for me. I know I obviously when I be doing this, I be talking about as far as your best team you ever played on, or questions, or just trying to see where folks is at around that. This is actually a couple of teammates of mine. I'm going back some years in regards to this, as far as if I was to ever be asked that question, best team I was ever on. But it have to be when I was in eighth grade. That's right. I'm going back to eighth grade. Um, Montclair Cobras played Montclair Cobras for some time, but that eighth grade team, which at that time they called it Cobra Varsity, when you were allowed to travel and play other teams in other towns or what have you there. So this team it's like you take the little league, the town league, and you just get, like, I guess, the all stars or the best of the best. You put them together for that eighth grade Cobra Varsity team, and this team was just was magical. It was magical. We didn't lose a game. We lose not one game, and defensively, I mean, I don't believe anybody scored more than a touchdown on us that year. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. I mean, again, we're going back some years here, so things get a little foggy here. But I think with that team, it's just, we talk about, like, just personalities. We're talking about all kind of things here. People playing positions they never played before, or what have you. There, on that team, I was a guard. Then on defense, I was a corner. I guess Coach Finney, he just put the best people on the field. We just figured it out. And like I said, that team, we ran the table. As far as in the league, or wasn't even a league, but the teams we played was undefeated. And then we went down to Florida, which was a big to do. Just going down there, and then got down there and just got busy. We had a close game. I think that first game, I think it was a team from, like, Maryland, I believe. Quarterback at that age was ambidextrous, throwing with both hands. It was just crazy. But I don't believe they scored more than a touchdown on us. But I think, it was like a defensive struggle, and I know we pulled through. Then in that championship game, man, we just blacked out and just got busy. I don't remember the score, but we pretty much beat them pretty handily, that team. I don't know if they was from Ohio, somewhere like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just think best team as far as record-wise, team-wise, just a camaraderie, and I think just that goal to win. As far as in regards to winning, I mean, we just put the best people on the field, and just a lot of life lessons here. Like, you just make adjustments. You get in a situation where, or you play a position you probably frowned upon first thing in the beginning of the season, and what you figure it out, like, is for the betterment of the team. And when everybody's on a cohesive group, we just, you just roll with it and just do what you need to do, your assignments or what have you. And so we had a blast. So I'm not sure who's able to jump on, but whoever's going to jump on, it'd be cool, man. We get to talk about that. But also, these guys done moved on, and, from high school to, I think, college, but also just in life in general, man. So it's just great to just catch up with these guys. So looking forward to it. So that's what it is.
Can you see me?
Nah, I can't see you yet, man. You're getting your old man on. We can't see you, man. I don't know if you're trying to struggle.
Okay, no, I ain't gonna struggle. I'm built for this. I'm built for this.
That's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl, I hear you talking. I don't hear your voice, though. I see you. I see you. I don't hear the voice, though, Daryl.
You can hear me?
I can't. Oh, there we go. We good. We good money now.
Oh, I'm in here.
Yeah,
Salute.
Oh, this about to be fun right here. Oh,
yes, it is.
You're talking about some history right here now.
Yeah,
Hey, now.
What's up, y'all?
Orange
What's up?
finest.
Oh, man, that's
What's
crazy.
up,
Ain't nothing, man. It's crazy. None of us went to orange high, huh?
Nope. How that work?
Yeah, I know, man. Nah, thank you guys for even just jumping on, man. I know it was out of left field, and I was just like, and I know you guys have probably been seeing like what the hell I've been doing, man. And I just back it up kind of just started as like with my immediate family, like just trying to just do something with this whole COVID thing and just
Yeah.
try to, so I was just throwing like little curveballs to my immediate family to get them on and have some fun. But ultimately, man, just tell them kind of just like what they meant to me and what they continue to mean to me, man. It was just like just real cool to get them on. And I was like, you know what, man, I got a sports family.
Big time.
Yeah, you're right, big time.
Yeah.
Just kind of like everywhere. I mean, and I think I had a wish list, and I still got a wish list. But I was just thinking, like, when I thought about it, I know I usually been asking guys lately, like, their best team they ever played on, and we'll get to it. But like I said, when I thought about mine, I'm like, damn, I gotta go back. It's damn near 8th grade, like my best team I ever played on.
Seriously.
And we'll talk about
Seriously.
it, as far as just kind of what all that meant to us, man. And I think it was just I was like, let me try to see who I could get on or what have you, man. I know everybody's lives is crazy, man, scrambling, trying to, do what they can here, so
Yep.
that's what it is. But as far as before I even get into anything, man, hopefully everybody's healthy, your families are good, y'all up and running, y'all adjusting, y'all
Yeah.
doing what y'all need to do here.
Fortunately, God is good and my family is healthy. Nobody has, I mean, we've had some impacts on my broader family, but my immediate family, we haven't had any issues thus far.
Okay.
And that's a blessing. Yeah.
Nah, good stuff.
All the
Good
time.
stuff. Absolutely, man. Daryl, you there? I know you Daryl froze. You back in, Daryl?
Yes, yeah, I'm back in. Yeah, I'm back in here. Yeah, man. But
All
like Ken said, man, God is good. I'm gonna tell you, it impacted me. I was out for the last 14 days, but somehow I caught at my
Wow.
job, and man, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Woo,
Yeah.
knocked me off my feet, and I'm thinking I'm taking all my herbs and my wheat
Right.
grass and everything, man. I'm thinking I'm
Right.
working out. But let me
Right.
tell you something. Woo, it had
Yeah.
me. But
It's a
besides
doozy.
that, I'm good. I'm
Man.
healthy. My family healthy. So
Yes.
hey, brothers, it's good to see y'all
right.
too.
Yeah.
Oh my
No, hold
God.
on.
Absolutely.
I got to comment on Daryl because Daryl stayed fly. All right.
Of
You see
course,
the
of course,
New
Hey,
Jersey Devils
listen.
hat.
of
I mean,
course.
Hey, listen.
he's just all the way fly with it. I mean, that's Jersey too. Jersey style is a real thing now.
Yeah.
Make no
Hey,
mistake.
I try to be. I try to be. I try to be. Hey, listen. Let me tell you, too, I got a younger wife, so I gotta keep a little flow going. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Listen.
that's what it is.
Yeah. Nah, you definitely got to keep your fresh, man. Kind of maintain it.
Hey,
Absolutely, man.
we
Absolutely,
try.
nah,
We
man.
try.
I'm like ecstatic, man. I got you guys, man. And again, I wish we got everybody else, but that's fine.
Mhm.
But like I said, I got you guys, and actually, when it's all said and done, I know I probably out of that squad, with exception maybe a couple others, man, just had probably a stronger connection with y'all two anyway. As far as
Yeah.
when it was all said and done, but I'm just gonna again, I don't want to make it all like some big Q&A thing, but I just want to again just kind of since I got you both, man, I just love to hear. And again, some things I do know, but still I'll still ask. Just kind of in Orange, man, just like Orange or just in general, man, just how it was growing up for you guys.
Okay.
Well, listen.
Let me
I'm
go ahead.
gonna
Go
let
ahead.
you start, Ken. No, I'll let you
Okay.
start. I come behind you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like for me, like I was born in Jersey City, and the neighborhood that I grew up in, the star athlete was Terry DeHare.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first person that I knew personally that was an athlete and someone that I said, yo, I want to be like this man right here. Because he was a rock star in our neighborhood. So when we moved to Orange, I think I was like about kindergarten, first grade, somewhere around that time. And the thing that I love about your series, in Essex County All Day, is that I got to start with the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And that foundation is baseball. That was the first love. Okay. We got to go there because
Absolutely.
for me, baseball was everything. And Metcalf Park was legendary.
Mhm.
The things that happened there. I mean, you talk about some people that were influential in my life. Man, you talking about Chris Jones, Mike Jones, and their father. You talking about the Suttons. You talking about Brent
Suttons.
Davis and Punkin
Yeah.
and Mr. Davis' father. I mean, you talking about William
Mr. Boone.
Boone, Mr.
Woo-hoo.
Boone. What
Mhm.
I mean, for me, walking from my house by Orange Park and going down to the valley, every day for practice, that was the foundation. And to me, that's sport, right?
Yes.
That sport carried over to everything because hand-eye coordination, discipline, just everything carried over so well to football. It kind of made football easy when you started playing football because you had all the skills that that make you a successful football player. So that's where I got to start, and that's why that's where I met that brother right there.
Mhm.
Daryl, you already know we got the history there, boy. We go back too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude, listen. I'm not frozen, am I?
No,
No,
we
no,
see
you good. You good.
I'm okay. Because for some reason,
Now you are.
Yeah, you jinxed us.
my man.
You just talked it up, D. You just talked it up. You frozen. We'll get him. We'll get him back. We'll get him back.
Yeah,
Listen,
Daryl, you frozen real quick.
you need to go to another location, bro. Look at them bars. You need about 3 bars.
He talking away too, Kev. He's still talking.
Yeah, he going for it.
can you see me?
He
Can you
going.
hear me? Not good.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're back now.
We hear you, but as far as your picture, you don't went outside on us. Okay. You're on mute now. You're on mute. You get your old man on. You're not doing both at the same time.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Don't forget, y'all older than me though. You talking about old man?
Yeah, now we can hear you and everything.
I have to come in the house. I was out in the man cave, man. I gotta make my way up. Go to a room where I ain't gotta bother my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. So we didn't get to hear anything you was just saying.
Hold up, I'm coming. I'm sorry, brothers.
No, we good.
I got little ones.
You good. You good.
I'm gonna find my way here. But yes, brother, listen. I'm just gonna piggyback off Kev, man. And Orange. Just being a kid and just never forget riding the bikes. Me and Anthony. You know I gotta bring Anthony.
Rest in peace, Ant.
We were riding our bikes, and you know how we used to play on the streets in Orange. Everything where I grew up on Alden Street, all out in the brook and behind Cleveland Street playing baseball because love was baseball.
Mm-hmm.
We used to want to play football so bad, but Orange didn't have football.
Yeah.
When we were coming up, so Mr. Boone and my father was trying to get football in Orange, but they wouldn't let them. No permits.
I mean, they had the Orange
so
Buccaneers, but they weren't that good.
Where were they at? Because we had to go to Savile Field and play for the Bengals.
So Orange Buccaneers was and their tryouts were in Orange Park. But the thing is that so my older brother was 5 years older than me, and when he would try out, I would try out with him, but I was too young to make the team. So I would try out, do the thing, but they were like, "Kid, you too young. Come back when you get a little older."
You see that now? You see the difference of being on the other side of town.
Yeah,
and we never knew that. We wound up going to Savile Field and playing for the Bengals.
Right. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
But I will never forget the day riding a bike, and me and Anthony, we couldn't go across Main Street, so we just kept going. And then we got to the valley, and we saw these lights. We like, yo, who are those kids?
Yeah.
They're not better than us. That was our mindset. Like, yo, Mr. Boone was on the side, like, you guys want to play? I'm like, yeah, this was FMBA.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, yes, sir. And that changed my life right there. Oh, my goodness. Organized baseball. And then meeting all you guys. So, but me and Ed, hold up, Ed, you went to Cleveland, right?
Nah, I was in Cleveland when you were gone by then. Because I didn't go, I stayed up in Montclair as far as until they got me on some address shit. you know, they got me around fifth
What
grade.
they call
They got me in fifth grade. Then that's when I went. That's when I went to Cleveland.
Wow. See, now we must did the opposite because I went to Cleveland. I left third grade, went to Montclair. They caught me on some address mess. I came back. I went to All Lady the Valley.
Okay.
Then I tried one more time in my fifth grade. I went up to Montclair and that set it off right there.
Okay.
And then Orange, you know, down the valley baseball, they kicked me out of baseball. They try to say I was hitting too many home runs, and here I am, the littlest one out there, and they don't want me to play. And I wound up going there playing up at Montclair with Jason Curry. And a matter of fact,
yeah,
and that changed life. But man, growing up in Orange, man, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for like being with y'all, growing up and just playing sports and just being great athletes, man. I tell y'all this: if we all would have stayed in Orange, Kev, William Boone, I can name
so many.
I told Anthony we probably would have won a state championship at Orange High.
So many.
We all went
to. I know we all scattered around, man, and I know you go back to that whole Metcalf thing, man. I just remember that, man. As far as I know, you guys played together. Was it like Rotary? It was the Red
Rotary Lions.
Rotary Lions.
We won a couple championships. Baby. You know, I ain't counting, but we won a couple championships.
And then down on the little field too. I forget what teams we were all on down there. I know we played on the little field.
So I think I was on I think it was called the Wolf Pack. Actually, my first coach ever was my man, y'all know him. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank right now. My man, Desmond Thomas's father, Coach
Desmond Thomas. I remember that name.
Desmond Thomas's father was my first coach. Yes. So me and Des go way back too.
I saw Sherry Shepard. She said she struck all of us out.
I remember that.
Willie Shepard and Sherry Shepard would have.
Willie Shepard.
Cats were scared of Sherry Shepard. Let's keep it 100. They were scared to go up and bat up against her because she was for real.
One of the thoroughest young ladies I ever played with. Even just knowing, she still told me as a grown person. I started the shot right. She said, I still think I'll strike y'all out. I said, oh, see that play.
Yeah, she was real. She had swagger. She had swagger like nobody's business.
Yeah, wow.
And that came straight from her father.
I remember her. Yep. And then Willie had the ill batting stance, and every time he swung, you figured that it was going out of the park. Every time like that swing, he had that swing
for real.
Yeah,
and it was dope, man.
Well, not against the Rotary, not against the Rotary Lions though, but it's all good.
Yeah, because I had with you guys, it was Will, you had Ed Elam on that team too. Yeah.
Yep, Eddie was out there.
Yeah.
So it was dope, man. So that's the beginning, man. That's where it all started from.
Yeah.
Outside of baseball, obviously I'm familiar now. And did y'all play any other sports besides baseball, football? Did y'all give anything else a try as kids?
I mean, so in the neighborhood where I grew up, I grew up in right there by Orange Park. So I mean, for me, it was growing up playing basketball in Orange Park all day, every day. I mean, I mean, so you talk about, Cleon. You had Cleon on the show. I mean, that's one of my closest homies right there. Grew up playing ball with him. Latish was on the show. I've been to battles with Latish out there on Orange Park as well. But a lot of great basketball happened in Orange Park, and even in my backyard as well. My backyard was a spot after school. Everybody was coming over to my backyard to get it in. You know what I mean? I mean, talk about Donald Curry. Y'all remember Donald Curry, right?
I remember Donald Curry.
Yeah.
Donald Curry used to be in my backyard every day, man. Actually, he taught me how to shoot the rock. That boy was serious.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember Donald. I totally remember Donald. So we get we do this baseball thing, and then eventually I know I probably started Cobras a year or two earlier than you guys. And I know you guys made your way over there as far as playing. Obviously, you did the town league with, Daryl. I know you was on the Jets, Kev, and I think Daryl was on the Steelers.
I was on the Steelers. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started in 6th grade.
Yeah, because I was down there 4th, 5th grade, right?
Yeah.
And that was just fun just to see you guys come over, to see you guys play football here, and obviously be on separate teams, man. And just obviously I know Daryl was in school up there, so he knew a majority of the guys here. And I just think that was just fun, just that talent league in itself, man. Just how competitive it was, man. Like, bragging rights and just it was just flat out fun, and it was just flat out fun, man. And I know and Daryl came and just like this. You just torched the whole league, man. Like, that cannon of yours, man. You just letting loose and just having some fun, man. Yeah. Then Kev, I know you just. That's that what?
That's that orange. That's that orange. When we used to throw the rocks and the apples and stuff at people. I used to be that like, yo, D, throw. But that was, oh man, listen, I tell you guys, man. I want to go to Atlanta and get to my mom's house and get these film for that. My father used to film all of our games back then. Because you gotta remember, for some reason, you guys were a grade ahead of me. Right. So when we went to that team, we got to that Cobra, we created that dynasty. That's when I tell people all the time when they talk the Cobra stuff, I said we were the greatest team ever. Like, we went undefeated, we were beating teams, and it's crazy. If I saw you with Shea Mill and them the other day, and I was watching the video, and I wanted to see how much older are they to us, because I remember my father them sitting there with Mr. Finney and Bearfield. We wanted to play the Rams, but the Ram coach didn't want to play us. So we wound up playing the Oilers.
See, I like that.
Year. And we put the smacking on them. So it wouldn't have mattered who we were going to play. We was tearing them up.
No, I was telling all over the place.
I got but y'all got, let me go back there. So y'all remember the first game we played that year? Who we played?
You got to jog my memory. It's a little foggy, but yeah, help me out.
Okay, because listen, we played at Immaculate Field, and we saw that big yellow bus. And let me tell you, this must have been the scariest moment ever. You always get on me talk about remembering the plays. But let me tell you, that game, when them Patterson boys came off that bus.
Yeah, it was big.
They had beards.
I remember
like we got right now.
I remember
that. Quarterback was 6'3". I said, ain't nowhere to work these kids in middle school.
Yeah, they changing birth certificates. Yeah, they doctoring birth certificates.
Oh. And it's crazy. I see some of these kids, like what's the name from Clifton, Animal, and the big kid. Oh, he's the coach at Clifton High School right now. Oh my God, I can't think his name. Yeah, I see them. They was like, man, that team y'all had up there in Montclair, man. He said it was the coaches was at practice everywhere. Like, how we gonna stop them kids? Yeah, it was great time.
I feel like we had the double tight end thing going on before the Patriots.
You got that right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you had Jeremy School and then you had Tim Lee. Like, to me, Jeremy and Tim was just, when you needed a first down, it was going to be one or the other. I mean, it was just nasty like that. But like, for me, like Montclair Cobras, man, when I think back on it, like, that was my first time playing organized football. And my inspiration was watching like NFL films. And I remember just watching Gale Sayers and falling in love with the way that he was running. So that's why I wore number 40. Because I was he was my inspiration to play. It was like seeing him was like poetry in motion. And like I said, first time playing football, I didn't really know the sport. So for me, the Montclair Cobras was about that foundation. And football, if it wasn't for football, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because football led me to college, which led me to get an education, which led me to being able to support a family, to have a family, you know what I mean? And to do all the things I'm doing right now. So for me, man, though that time was just crazy. And in addition to that, just that foundation, like as an adolescent, like the stuff that I had going on in my family, like I needed that outlet for that aggression. Like that's the biggest thing, man, was like I needed to hit people, man. Like I needed to, and if it wasn't gonna be fighting, man, it had to be with some pads on, because I had so much aggression that needed to get out. Like that was the best thing for me, man. Like I can't imagine how my life would have turned out if I didn't have that outlet to get that frustration out, you know, on other people, and do it in a way where you're not going to get in handcuffs.
That's crazy to know that, and being that young, saying that. Wow. Wow.
No,
you know what I mean? So
totally, man.
And listen, and not to throw it off, but I got to get on Ed. I got to get there. You're doing a lot of hosting, man, and I got to give you credit. I thank you for this. I thank you for what you're doing. I see what you're doing. But
I'm ready. I'm ready. What you about to say? What you about to say?
Listen, was Ed one of the best thorough linemen, and then all of a sudden he be playing cornerback?
Yo,
what was crazy?
That is crazy.
Seventh grade, I played quarterback. Seventh grade, I won that league championship playing quarterback.
Yeah.
People
I remember.
Yeah.
With the Giants, you playing quarterback.
Giants. With the Giants. I played quarterback, but I think also I would say to you, Daryl, just a testament to you. It was just kind of one of those things too, like Mr. Finney and everybody knew. And even myself is just like, yo, just the quarterback. And I know he wanted to kind of, and it was interesting too. When you think about with Pond, because Pond played 7th and 8th grade Cobra varsity, because I think he kind of wanted to keep it that whole kind of situation too, which was totally cool with me. But it was interesting. As funny as you mentioned, you make that comment. Interesting, you had 2 guards that wanted to go into high school playing quarterback, me and Anthony.
Isn't that crazy?
How crazy is that?
And not just quarterback though, but like star quarterbacks. I mean, Anthony Walker was one of the most talented athletes I've ever been around.
Yeah.
Just the way his frame was built, the boy from the waist down was solid. He was solid as a rock. I mean, and even I mean, he let Orange High. He did his thing at Orange High. Let's just call it what it is, man. And he did his thing, and then went to Montclair State, and he had a good career. He had a good career at Montclair State from all accounts. You know what I'm saying? Defensive back. I mean, he did it.
No, down to your point, but like I said, my thing was just hats off to you, man. Just kind of like, again, it was your show. And it was just kind of like, and I think on some life lessons, man, you just get in line and, for the betterment of everybody, man, like it all worked out, man. We ran the table, man. And I think it was your show. And it was just kind of, and it was cool. I think initially, you kind of be like, damn, I just played quarterback last year. I just won a championship. How this man go to all of a sudden? Honestly, personally, you think that, but in the same breath, when you look back, though, it's just like, you know what I mean? Coaches knew what they was doing. It's like, you know what? This our guy, and we going with him. And, man, I had no problem because I know next to me was Big George, you know what I mean? And it was just kind of like, yo, let's have some fun, man. Let's cut and block and do what we need to do for Daryl, for Kev, Corey, everybody, Gary, everybody, man. So I think it was like life lessons, man. Totally life lessons in all of this. Like, yo, you just make the adjustment, you play your position, and you be a star in your position, man.
Totally.
And we all were stars, man. We all were stars. And trust me, I didn't want to play quarterback at all.
Really?
Forcing me to play that game. I wish I would have known you. I would have surely would have.
Wow.
You'll get that to it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. But like you said, it definitely it's life learning, man. We all were stars. But I tell people all the time, man, and I tell people all the time this. I wouldn't have wanted to play with no other guys but you guys coming up like that, man. Because we had a ball. We had fun down in Florida. And that was the case. Bowie Maryland team, man. Them brothers was 9-time champions at one time.
Wow.
They didn't lose.
Okay.
See,
and we took them off the field, brothers.
It was real. I mean, that was a great experience. I mean, I just remember things like practicing on Daytona Beach. Okay, we were practicing on the beach. I remember Anthony had to lose weight.
Had to lose weight. Had the garbage bag.
Had the garbage bag. Like,
my father and them was running and taking water.
And it actually worked. I was like, wow, that actually worked.
I think before we could go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just gonna say, even down to like how it was playing in the South. Like, I think that was my first time getting a taste of what it was like to play, that Southern football, and how the refs used to interact with you. They used to call you Biggin. Give me the ball, Biggin. Hand me the ball, Biggin. Like, Biggin. I thought he was trying to, call me a nigga or something like that. Like, what?
yeah. And then even before we get down there, man, and to Daryl's point, like I said, I don't remember too many of the games, but obviously we do remember them Patterson boys, and it's just kind of like it just start. I mean, again, we didn't necessarily have any expectations. Obviously you get on the field, you play to win. And it was just kind of like, yo, this is turning into something special. Like, as far as as far as,
Yeah.
teams not scoring and we just winning and everything else, like all these so-called teams, whether it was Patterson and whether it was Union, whether it was that East Orange squad, whoever it was, man, we were just dominant. We was just dominant.
So I'm telling you, so
The
that's the
toughest
thing.
game
Like,
was Clifton.
yeah, Clifton. Yeah.
Clifton. It was them
What
boys
you remember
was
from
real.
that game, Daryl?
Which one? Don't forget, we played over there in that field when it got real dark. I mean, shoot, yeah. Oh, what do I remember in that game? God, you got me. Oh, hit.
Because
You
I'm just
tell
saying,
me.
to me, you got a memory like an elephant. So I'm trying to soak it up.
No, I could, if we could talk on this for 2 hours, I probably could tell you about every game. But I'm gonna, man, listen, y'all just don't know, man. It's going back to those days and like playing them Clifton teams. Like I said, his name was Ralphie St. Q. That was one of the other big boys that played for them. I get in contact with. I talk to him a lot. But just think about the fun we had, man.
Yeah.
I just those are the memories I just can. I go down to Mr. Finney old house. I go over in the park sometime, and a coworker of mine was like, "Dad, what you doing?" And I said, "Man, I'm thinking about my Cobra team, how great we were, and how many people that played with me went on and went to college and now they got families and kids and stuff."
I know.
And I check all y'all out on Facebook, but man,
yeah, for real. I mean, Mr. Finney was something else, man.
That Cobra team.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, I was just going. You had me thinking about Mr. Finney because
coming in late.
He was something else, man. Like with the martinis. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
With the martinis.
Yo, to this day, man.
Yes.
If I go to a nice restaurant with a nice steak restaurant, I'll order me a martini and think about Mr. Finney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just for him to kind of like all he's done, man, and I know obviously, and that was like the pinnacle, obviously, of playing Cobras to play Cobra varsity, and it's kind of and I didn't want to go, and I remember like telling Lee, because Lee Martin was my coach. I said, I won't play varsity, man. He's like, you're not playing here with me no more. You gotta go. And I think it was just and I just think it's just one of those things from him to Bearfield to Kenny. You know what I mean? Just kind of like they was in sync with one another, at least in front of us. Maybe they had their disagreements behind the scenes, but I think with us, they was in sync, man. And it was just kind of like,
I know.
it was a great group. It was a great group.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I almost kind of forgot about that. It was kind of like that varsity team was kind of like handpicked, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like you had to be selected to play on that team, and that felt like an honor in and of itself. Like, okay, they must see something in me.
Mm-hmm.
They must see something in me. And the thing that I take away from the whole experience was the confidence that I had as a young man coming away from that Cobra experience and winning that national youth championship in Florida. Was like, I don't know, my confidence was through the roof. I mean, you just, you couldn't tell me nothing because, again, right, coming from playing baseball and having success on those Rotary Lion teams, and then playing football and having success, with the Cobras, I'm thinking that, like, I'm gonna be a professional athlete. I mean, literally, that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, I'm gonna be a professional athlete someday, and that was my primary objective. So then you come to, me going to high school. Okay, this is where I have a bone to pick because I was trying to go to Montclair High School.
I'm still trying to figure out how do you get to Glen Ridge.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that, Kev. I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that real quick before we jump to the high school piece. Do you guys remember, as far as with the code? Remember, obviously we went all of that shortly after the season's over. Do I remember as far as they used to have this TV show with like Johnny Bench called the Baseball Bunch?
I remember that.
Yeah.
And they tried to do like some football bunch. And Mr. Finney, I don't know if you guys got the call. I know I got the call from Mr. Finney.
I got the call.
Oh, you okay? And I'm sure
that
Daryl
was a
probably got the call
experience.
too. They come talk and be interviewed by, I forgot who it was. Like they were trying to put
it was some TV producers.
Yeah, they were trying to put that TV show.
Yeah.
I don't think it never manifested at all. But it was just kind of one of those things like, yo, we get calls like to be on TV on some football bunch. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You remember that?
I definitely remember that. I remember. Yep. I remember going to Mr. Finney's house, being in I don't know, some fancy like living room, TV producers, and basically going through like an interview process. Like that was crazy.
No, I remember that. And the crazy thing, they were leading me like to the point where I wasn't going to go to Montclair High because Bergen Catholic was asking me to come up there, St. Joe's of Montville, and the guy was like asking me questions. Well, I'm like, man, listen, I'm not playing at another school to play against my friends. No. But I remember that, getting asked questions, but it never came. It never came about.
Okay.
Wow.
I knew you guys.
You threw that one back. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I remember that as we were talking, it popped up, and I remember that whole baseball. Then they tried to do the football bunch kind of thing. And so I didn't know if you got the call, but I was just putting it out there because I know a few of us was able to go up to Mr. Finney's house and talk to those guys. I was like, yo, this is not bad for winning national championships and getting these calls.
Mr. Finney was trying to do some things, man. He was trying to do some things.
And you know what's crazy? It still hasn't been a Cobra team to go down there and win it yet.
Really? See, I didn't know that.
Really?
My
I was
eighth grade year,
actually trying to do my research. I was trying to do the research and find that out.
You could ask me. Listen, listen. I talk so much mess. I used to go to the practice to tell, like, Will Young is running the league now, and I talk a lot of mess to them guys. Man, y'all don't have nothing up here like we had. And I talk junk. I said, watch me, y'all go down to Florida. You're gonna see the difference of talent.
Yeah.
You're gonna see I said, y'all haven't played guys that we played that was really about this football life until you leave out of Jersey and you go down there and play these Texas and Ohio's and them Bowie Mel. These boys in Florida, these boys in their life is all about, I want to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
I said, we played against them type of kids.
Right.
And I tell them now, I said, that it will never be another coach. Brothers, we are going down in history.
Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Because they don't understand.
Give me them flowers.
Listen, how long it been? 30 plus years since we were playing Cobras?
Yeah.
And they go down there and get swept, maybe win one, lose one. I think Brick City was the only team now they got up here in New Jersey. It was the only team from New Jersey to go down there and win it since we won. Like,
no doubt. And also too, think about the style of football that we was playing. All right, we wasn't playing today's football where it's all about speed and agility. We was playing like more of a smash mouth type of hard nosed football. All right, that football is not played anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. We bought that jersey. We bought that real Jersey style football to the South. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
it's something, man. Something.
And I know we probably going again, obviously each team going to debate, as far as their team was better. I mean, I don't know what the criteria is, but I'm just going off of was the record and what was done. You know what I mean? I know each team going to probably say they were better or whatever the case is, but I'm just going off facts.
We were the best, Ed. We were the best. We were the best. Only one team that I can give a little bit of credit to if they would have went. That was Ponton and that before we went, the year before.
Yeah, before we went.
With
Yeah,
Wayne
Ponton
Claiborne and Mark Klein. Okay, listen, they would have went, but they were hard-headed kids. They were hard-headed. They probably went down there and got in trouble. I think if that team would have went down, they probably would have did what we did, and they were undefeated too. They didn't lose.
No, they had a tie. They had a tie.
They had a tie. So
tie.
That goes to show you we were better. We had no tie.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Ain't nobody can tell me different. Yeah. They can't tell me nothing. They be like, Daryl, we got to mention about that 87. I said, y'all always will remember this team because it haven't been a team like that since.
Yeah.
And I think it's about to come to an end up there. So I'm just letting you know.
Okay. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, man. Wow, I didn't know that.
And to your point,
they ain't doing nothing up there. Yeah, it's
It's what?
I hear you.
No. I was saying as far as in regards, I was I know I reached out too, man. Just trying to. I know you mentioned your moms might have some of them tapes down there too, man. And I know I tried to. Actually, I wrote a letter to Mr. Finney. I want to say a few months ago, just kind of like just thanking you. I mean, again, I know he probably might be not necessarily the most coherent right now.
Yeah.
He is, man. But it was just kind of like, thank you. It's kind of like, thank you, and for everything you've done. As far as with everything too.
Huge.
Oh, I did say, P.S. Somebody got them tapes.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
that would be.
yeah.
That
I did
would be
add that
nice.
at the end, but I did like thank him for everything, man. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he got it or somebody read it to him, but I did send something up that way, in regards to that too. And I reached out to Kenny. Kenny did communicate back to me, and then I mentioned to him as far as us jumping on tonight. He didn't respond back, man. But I mean, I know everybody's lives is, at different stages right now, or whatever the case may be, and but still in all, like I said, those guys, like, they were great. They worked perfect for us. Again, we had a cast of characters, the Daryls, the Michaels, the Kevs.
Oh man,
not you, Kev, the other
Dimitri,
Kev, the other
George.
Kev, the other
Yeah,
Kev. Yeah,
no
yeah,
doubt.
So we had a
Look,
cast
think
of
about
characters.
think about Lenny Banks. Little Lenny Banks got kicked off the team. Remember? You remember that?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, how y'all don't remember?
Yeah.
That's
Lenny Banks and Kenny had an argument, a big fight, and kicked him off the team. Lenny never came back.
That's right. And Lenny played with me straight through Cobras. Like every Giant team was me, Lenny, and Gary. It was me, Lenny, and Gary. That's right. Okay. I was like,
can I tell you something, Ib? Tell you something? And Coach Muhammad now, man, I sometimes I go at him like Coach Lee. I say, yo, you should have played us again, the Giants and Steelers, because y'all beat us that one time. Me and Earl Blake was talking to stuff.
Earl Blake, I remember that
name.
Wow.
If we would have played y'all again, I think we would have got y'all, man. He was like, nah, he didn't want to play us no more. I said,
that's funny. That's funny. Wow, I remember Earl. Yeah, I remember Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to Kev's point, man, as we talk about the high school life, man, I'm like you, Kev, man. Woo. I wanted that Mounties across my back.
I did, man.
That was like my dream high school to go to, man. As crazy as that was, yeah.
I did, man. I was like, I don't know what happened, man. Things just happened so fast at that eighth grade graduation. It was like I was trying to get somebody's address to go to Montclair, but I don't know, Daryl. We talked. I don't remember, but I know nobody came knocking on my door like, yo, man, we need to get you over here. And I was disappointed about that. I was kind of salty about that.
I can talk about it now. Listen, I had my own apartments from 8th grade to high school.
Wow.
That's how you did it. My grandma,
I was about to say, I thought you stayed with your grandmother. I thought you stayed with your grandmother.
She retired because I used her address. She retired and she bounced. And the grace of God, thanks for Al Valentine was the security guard there, went to school with my mother, East Orange. So he was the one that come to your house to see if everybody there. And since I was an athlete, and since I was an athlete, they had me like, all right, we got you. We know what it is. I had my own apartment, man, from 8th grade till I graduated. Up in my Montclair. My mother come. They make sure I'm good, but I was responsible. To not have company, not do nothing crazy. But man, it was. That's how I stayed.
Yo,
but I will tell you this: I didn't want that was strategic on my helmet. I won't lie to you. But I gotta go back. Y'all wanted to be Montclair Mounties. I didn't. I wanted to go to Orange High. I wanted to be a tornado. Oh yeah. Man, so hard to be an Orange. I used to go to the game when little Newts. With little Nuke and Orange play Triple J Scott and basketball.
Bell Stadium.
I used to see them boys and Big Hot, all them Haas and all them. Man, and Timmy, Anthony brother. I wanted to be a tornado. And that's why I always tell
hold up, Tim Walker played football? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was the quarterback before Ant. So Ant took over when he left.
At Orange.
I didn't even realize that. Because for me, Tim is a rapper. Okay, Raggedy Man is still the best rapper in Orange history. That brother was on tracks with Biggie. Brand Nubian, don't get me started. That man was killing anybody in the South. You want to talk about Essex County all day. Tim Walker was one of them dudes. One of them dudes.
He's a quarterback.
And one of the greatest athletes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you wanted to go to Orange?
Baseball, basketball, throwing a football. Listen, I wanted to go to the running back, Willis. I told him in the barbershop a couple weeks ago. I said, if we all would have went to Orange, we would have won a state championship. And I was naming jokers, and he was like, "Oh," I said, "Listen, I wanted to be a tornado. My mother just wasn't hearing it. She just wasn't. You're
Mhm.
not going to Orange. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
y'all wanted to go to Montclair, and I wanted to go to Orange. But Montclair, it it did me good. I ain't
No
get
doubt.
Now, Kev, yeah, interesting go around. You go to Essex first.
Yep. Go to Essex first.
And I know that freshman team was one for the books. That was
Out of
one
sight. Out of sight. So you have my man Lonnie, of course, one of the best teammates I ever played with. Like Lonnie Cumberlander. You want to talk about just a football player? Lonnie was just one of the most physical players I've ever played with. Physicality, okay, in a slender frame, okay. Lonnie wasn't like some super huge dude. He had a slender frame, but he was just solid, just a lot of heart. And then his father was the best coach I ever played for. Like I would say that I became a man for myself after that freshman year playing at Essex Catholic. I was like, yo, I'm a man. Like I just finished, you know what I'm saying? Because man, I mean, Lonnie's father was like, okay, I played at the college level. I never practiced as hard and as physical on the football field than I did that freshman year. The practices were 10 times harder than the games. So that was the thing. The game, I mean, we was out there thudding. Okay. The varsity team would be looking at us because we are making noise on that practice field. I mean, we are thumping. We out there hitting, man. We are getting after it every day. So, man, I got to take my hat off right there, you know. But the thing about Essex Catholic was when I looked at, see, my love for the sport now is everything. I'm loving football. I'm loving the sport to the point where I'm looking ahead to the future, and I'm like, can I see myself in that wishbone offense? And I didn't see myself in that offense for the future. So in my mind, I'm like, I didn't want to sit on the bench, or I didn't want to pay any dues. Like I was like, I got to, if I felt like for me, somebody like me, because I'm like, 160, 165 pounds soaking wet, for me to go to college and do the things that I was trying to do, I felt like I needed to be on the field. And I didn't want to share. Like, I don't know. I just was like, I love the sport so much. I was like, I got to go somewhere where I'm going to be starting varsity as a sophomore. That was my attitude.
I'm trying to figure what address he used.
Yeah.
Yeah. He about to tell us right now. He about to tell us.
I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting.
All right. So here's what happened. All right. So, so the third love first. So first it's baseball, right? Then it was football. And then because of all the basketball that I played growing up as my little hobby, I'm like, you know what? Let me go out for the basketball team at Essex Catholic. And that's when I started playing like formal basketball. I went out for a freshman team and played freshman basketball. And through that freshman basketball team, we went to a summer league, but it was like a summer league at Fairleigh Dickinson University. And we played this team, and I met this kid named Jimmy Stokel. Okay, Jimmy Stokel went to Glen Ridge, and he was like, he noticed that I came off the bench, and I just started getting money in this summer league game. And he tapped me on the shoulder after the game and was like, man, he was like, you are super talented, but I noticed you came off the bench like, 12 men. He was like, if you came to my school, he was like, yo, you would be a rock star. So we exchanged numbers, and next thing you know, I made a transfer. I actually paid to go to Glen Ridge High School.
I was going to ask you that.
Oh,
yeah,
that's how you got there.
That's how I did it. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the whole thing. It was like, I had to go through this whole process because, you're talking about one of the best academic high schools in Essex County. And to get in, I had to show that, that I could handle the book side of the equation kind of a thing. And yeah, I paid tuition. I had to pay money to get my butt over there and start going to Glen Ridge kind of a thing. So
you down there running all over that league, ain't you?
Man, well,
I saw it. I was there.
I was disappointed that it's funny because the thing is that I was so ignorant. Like I didn't really have that education of what conference they're in, what schools they're playing, what group or any of that. All I know is that I love football and I wanted to be the man somewhere to give myself a chance to get a scholarship. And
Yeah,
I didn't want to
yeah.
sit on nobody's bench, you know, and I wanted to play football and I wanted to play basketball because now I had fell in love with both sports.
Okay.
Wow.
So that was my
That's good.
thing. It was just like, with all that talent as a Catholic, I just was like, it's just too much talent here. I was just like,
Yeah.
it's too much. I'm gonna just get lost in the sauce. I gotta find somewhere where, you know what I'm saying, where I could get on the field and play.
You know, it's crazy you say that because that competition was at Montclair High. It was more like, I used to look at the history of like people that went to Montclair High transferred to like MKA.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy went to want to play for Green Bay Packers, but it was kids that was coming to play that I knew that was supposed to play like an Earl Blake, and these guys, I'm thinking, oh, when they get to high school, it's gonna be on.
Yes.
You should see how many. It's competition, and
Yeah.
these kids. Some people can't deal with it. Like, whoa, you playing this shit? No, I ain't playing, man, because you playing, and you got Lenny, and you got Dana, you got Corey Higgins. He said, man, I'm never gonna get on the field.
Yeah.
No, I ain't think that way.
I was
I
gonna
played
say,
one freshman. I played
I was
one
gonna ask
freshman
you
game.
what happened. You only
I
played
scored.
freshman?
I played one freshman game. I never forget. I played one freshman game. I scored 5 touchdowns. And the freshmen used to play down here, and they had some All-Americans. Nicky Kemp. They had
Mike
he
Flowers
went to Nebraska.
and all of them. Yeah,
they had Mike and all of them. They had some big boys up there. And I never forget, Mr. Green told me, Daryl Williams. I said, yes, sir. He said, you ain't shit. I said, what? He said, you ain't shit. I said, whatever, Mr. Green. He said, well, go show me. Get up. Go down there. I said, oh, go down where? With the varsity.
Wow.
Let me tell y'all, brother, something. I embarrassed them. That's when I knew I came up to that level because Garland will tell you, they gave me a little sweep and I was running scared.
Wow.
And when I ran, I scored like 3 touchdowns on them. And Coach Davis pulled everybody to the side and said, if y'all let this freshman do that, y'all gonna get that. And I mean, you talk about the looks that I got at high school. The next day, the brothers used to be like in the locker room, it's like, yo, did you ever do that again? But I'm saying to myself, I'm about to take one of y'all positions, man.
Right.
Now you go to high school, you go automatic, you go play running back when you get to freshman?
No, what's funny is I'm playing quarterback. They were switching me around, bro. I played quarterback 1 minute, I'm playing tailback. And then I'll never forget when I went up there to play to the varsity, they got me in the back because they knew I had a little arm. They knew I played quarterback at Cobras because Coach Davis came and saw us play my 8th grade year. So he gave me I was playing like the wing back, man. They gave me a flip, but it was a flip pass. And I think I threw the ball to like Jason Curry or one of the receivers for a long pass. I became the backup quarterback for Montclair as a freshman. And one of the boys that was the backup, he was a junior. He transferred to Bloomfield.
The kid Jason something, right?
Okay.
Snyder,
Jason,
something like that.
Yeah, Snyder. Yeah, he left, and I wound up being a backup quarterback behind Pont. But I don't remember these guys. Greg Jarrett. Remember Greg Jarrett?
I remember Greg. Lefty.
Greg, lefty. He would have been the backup, great athlete, but he got caught up in some stuff in school, and they kicked him out of school, and that would put me to the ham to be backing up Ponton as a freshman until he left, and the Randolph game and all that stuff. But I'm glad he never really got hurt that I had to go in or do anything. But man, the competition was serious, and like you said, us growing up and competition, you didn't want to sit on the bench. Well, I had no choice to go out there and just show my ass and go get it, a little 5 foot whatever, but a heart of gold. So
yes, totally.
Now what happens?
In everything you do.
Now what happens? That scene where obviously Pond leaves, they give you the keys. When Pond left.
Yes, when Pond left, it was kind of sad because Pond leaves, and we all thought our coaching staff coming back, Coach Davis and all the guys, and they left us. The whole coaching staff left. Besides, I think and we brung this new coach in, Coach Rivers. He was from Franklin. He wants to, and then he brung us into this, basically what they run now, this shotgun wing, not even a wing tier, shotgun, just throwing everything. We didn't, and then some people didn't want to play different positions. It was to the point where some people was upset. They wasn't even going to come back and play football.
Yeah.
So all I knew was I got to play quarterback, and I had Jason Curry. I had Timmy Lee. I had people that, okay, I can get the ball to these guys. And I was just really slinging the ball to them. And we had Corey Higgins in the backfield and Gary Systrom.
A workhorse.
Like it was, yes.
Talk about Gary. Gary was ill.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
Gary was smooth. I just remember Gary just being smooth with it. The way he styled his uniform, he just had that swagger. You know what I'm saying? Just that little man swagger.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Now, but don't you get into a little competition with Marv, don't you?
No. You know what's crazy? Once again, I never wanted to play quarterback, y'all.
Okay,
Never.
okay.
I always found myself being a running back because they had me running crazy anyway, playing quarterback. But what happened was Marvin was behind me, and my brother Daryl was behind him.
Got you.
So my junior year, I was playing quarterback. They were moving to different positions of playing defense, and they'll have Marvin throw the ball a little bit. But then my senior year, it was all about Marvin and Ponton. I didn't care about. I told the coach we had a meeting. Listen, I'm trying to get to college, man, and my thing is it's gonna be baseball or football. So I'm gonna play tough. And it wound up being Marvin's job for the following 2 years, and Ponton. They wound up winning the states, beating Randolph again. Where they beat Randolph, they revenged our loss to that Mike Grove field goal.
Yeah,
that should have never happened. But once again, like I said, I never wanted to play quarterback. So Marvin was a great quarterback, left-handed like yourself,
right.
and can really sling that ball. So now he's a pastor.
Nah, good
He's a
stuff,
pastor.
man.
Wow, that's what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Stuff. Nah,
yeah.
that's
Yep.
good. So Kev, we get the Glen Ridge, Kev.
Yeah.
So you get there, you paying tuition. Obviously, like it has to be a culture shock, just kind of just being there, just kind of like just the people that are there. Like this, like how was that for you, man?
It was an experience. And it was kind of crazy because all my boys thought I was nuts. Like, what?
Yeah, me included. When I heard that, I was like, Glen Ridge.
Going to Glen Ridge, man. Why are you doing that? Like, what?
Me too. I said, how the hell did Kev get there?
Yeah. But what I could tell you guys is that, like, outside of sports, there was something that I felt in me that, like, again, growing up where we grew up, I went to predominantly African-American schools like my whole life. Every neighborhood I've been in, like I never been around white people like that. Let's just call it what it is. Never been around white people like that. So, so it was a culture shock for sure, but I grew a lot. Like I definitely grew a lot from that standpoint of just how to have relationships with other races, really, And to be honest with you, it was a great experience because I never experienced no type of racism. It was all love. Like that community embraced me fully, man. I have nothing but good memories from being at Glen Ridge. The hardest thing for me was academically, because I was just, I went to Catholic schools from kindergarten all the way up to 9th grade. The Archdiocese of Newark basically raised me. But when I got there, I was so far behind academically that I had to work my butt off just to, just to maintain decent grades enough to go to college, kind of a thing. So on the academic side was where a lot of the growth was. Man, I have to give it a lot of credit because I had to work super hard, man, to stay on pace. I was probably like about 2-3 grades behind just off of the math skills and the reading and writing kind of a thing. So that was the biggest challenge. The sports part was easy, but at the same time, it was like I said, I didn't know nothing about Glen Ridge or sports or anything. I just wanted to play. The love of the game. And what I was disappointed about was, oh my God, one of my dogs is at Immaculate. Golly, one of my dogs is at Immaculate. I'm like, I can't believe it. And then you know, Ronnie and Malik and Ivan to go to Billy Elliott. And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Now I gotta play against people that I know are killers out there on the football field. And it was just like, to this day, okay, you gotta understand, Daryl.
Did y'all beat them though? Did y'all beat Ib? Ib beat y'all. I don't know.
My
Glen
senior year,
Ridge
y'all
what?
beat us. Y'all seen my senior
Yeah?
year, y'all beat us.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I
Wow.
appreciate that. I don't remember that because what I remember is that so Daryl, you gotta understand Glen Ridge and Immaculate, that was the Thanksgiving game every year.
Yeah, that's the rivalry right there. Yeah.
That's the rivalry every year. And to this day, man, I can't enjoy my Thanksgiving turkey the way I want to because
Yeah, you funny, man. You funny.
because of some of them beatdowns, man. Nah, like Thanksgiving for
man.
me is never gonna be the same because this brother Ibn, man. See, Ibn is the thing I love about Ibn, man, is he's so humble in his old age. You know, he's giving everybody their flowers. He's, you know what I'm saying, putting his hand on his heart and, you know what I'm saying, showing all the respect. And I love that. But make no mistake, that dude right there was a killer. And he was intimidating, crazy intimidating out there on the football field. You know what I mean? So I gotta give you your flowers, Eb.
That's cool, Kev. That's cool.
That's right. That's right.
You was one of them dogs. One of them dogs.
I still want to know why. I want to know why you went to Immaculate and how you get to Immaculate, sir.
Sure. Nah, I mean, I ended up, again, Mr. Finney called the Immaculate coach. It was actually, we went on the, you mentioned it, obviously talking about Cobras and that whole thing. We went on a visit, it was to Immaculate. It was me, myself, Anthony, and you remember Karan was on that team. I don't know if y'all remember Karan Farrar. Yeah. He was on that, that Cobra team.
He was at Essex too.
He went to Essex for a minute, right? And then all three of us, so Mr. Finney had us go over there to go visit. And then similar to Kev, and similar to your mom's too, Daryl, mom's was like Orange. Now you pops in them there, you ain't going there. You know, we do whatever we need to do, but you're not going. You know, and I'm like, yo, I just went to middle school there. I'm good. They say, nah, you know, you got opportunity to go here. We'll scratch and claw whatever tuition we need to do, but you gonna go to Immaculate. So that's how I ended up there, man. And
wow.
Yeah, but nah, that was Mr. Finney. That was the Mr. Finney move.
Because it's crazy. Me and James, 8th grade year, we going through all this, and I told you Bergen Catholic, St. Joe's, all that. Seton Hall, Coach Shepard wanted me to come play baseball for Seton Hall. And I was like, what should I do? But Immaculate, James and I was going to think about going to Immaculate too. It was James wound up going.
He went for 1 year
as a freshman year. And he came back to Montclair. But yeah, Immaculate was at our, listen, we used State Field. Right. Those coaches was there, man.
They were there.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, because again, like on my end, like 8th grade, I went to Sacred Heart Catholic School on South Orange Ave. I actually went to school with Eddie. Eddie went there too. So, you know, coming from the Newark Archdiocese, I mean, you know, the schools that I applied to was Essex Catholic, Immaculate, and Seton Hall. So it could have went either way, Eb. I could have been there right with you.
Yeah,
my thing was, I don't know. At that time, I don't know, something, because, you know, Immaculate was known for the ladies.
For the girls, right.
And I felt like, yo, if I go there, I might flunk out. Yo, I don't know what's going to happen. All discipline is going to go out the window. I felt like I needed that discipline. I'm like, let me just go. And plus, like a lot of the cats that I went to Sacred Heart with, we all went to Essex Catholic, like a whole bunch of cats from Vailsburg. We all went to Essex Catholic from that little small Catholic school.
Yeah, it was crazy with all that. Even with talk about the girls and all that. Luckily, I had a connection with Montclair. Obviously, being up there straight through like up to I think 5th grade, and then obviously I had the little window where I went to Cleveland and Orange Middle. So you mentioned the girls, I go to Immaculate, but I still know the girls from Montclair. Everybody growing up, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Being
of both worlds.
Being in Montclair.
I don't even know how you kept your head on straight.
I mean, it's a big head, man. I had to figure it out somehow. Yeah, man. But to your point, though, interesting you mentioned the whole education piece, though, and even I think it ties in even currently, man. You talk about Glen Ridge, their curriculum and all that stuff, but you talk about like the private schools wasn't as thorough as them. So that kind of gives those public schools like some credibility there. That's interesting because you know how we kind of be like, yo, let's send our kids to private school or do this and
Right.
that. You know, but it's interesting. Certain towns, obviously, you got the resources and the
Yeah.
back end to be that thorough academically, man.
Exactly.
That's interesting. You know, as far as how that
Yeah.
went, for you to be like, yo, I'm a couple of grades behind when I walk up in here. I would think the
Yeah. No, it
opposite.
was real.
I think you be ahead of them.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's it's an interesting thing, man. I thought so too. Because I mean, I went to Catholic schools my whole life, man. I'm thinking like, yo, you know, my parents are spending the money to give me the best education that they can afford, right? But yeah, I was shocked myself when I stepped up in them classes, and I was like, man, I was behind the eight ball, like for real, man.
It's still the same way, guys, to this day. My wife is a coach at West Orange girls basketball. She's making history up here. And let me tell you, it's a lot of times you get these parents that want to send their kids, and don't get me wrong, you know, to the Immaculate Ibn. I mean, you know, school to school, and you a great
Right.
guy, you a smart guy. But you see that what Kevin's saying, it's a lot like we had a girl transfer in. She was in a Catholic school, and you'd be surprised how these kids are behind in school,
Mhm.
and you having people paying a lot of money for these teachers
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
teach, and they're behind, man.
That's
So,
crazy.
and it's happening in football too. Now you see all these
Yeah.
kids going to Don Bosco and all these schools,
Right.
and then they got to do extra work to get into college and take this because the school didn't have certain courses they didn't. I'm like, whoa, this is
Wow.
crazy. Still to this day, like, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
But
And that's good to know. That's good to know, man. I know with me having, you know, shit. Even Daryl now with the little one, man. Like I got a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. She's obviously I'm here in Connecticut, but she goes to a public school. They got a program where
Mhm.
the kids can go to the suburban schools outside of Hartford here. So she's in actually one of the best towns as far as in the state
That's
of
great.
Connecticut, as far as the public
That's
schools.
great.
So it's interesting you mentioned that. So I'm kind
Yeah.
of actually talking. I'm like, let me keep
Mhm.
her ass here, you know, versus, you
Yeah.
know, trying to
No, I
do a
believe
private
that.
school and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe in a good public school system. I'm not going to front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Nah.
served me
Definitely.
well. It served me
Definitely.
very well.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
hey, Ed, I thank you, brother. I watched a lot of your interviews, man. You know, one that
Yeah.
tested was you and your sister. But I'm gonna give you your props, brother. I don't know when it
Yeah.
started. I said, hold on, why Ed ain't get in contact with me, man? I'm
Oh,
like,
I
you
knew.
feel
I was
some
waiting.
way
I was,
because I said you feel some way that my wife beat the Mac for the Essex County championship down there. I saw you across. I saw you. I said
Yes.
he ain't calling
yeah.
boys from Orange.
Nah,
Hold
nah,
up,
nah,
now.
nah, nah,
Uh-huh.
nah, nah, man. Like I said, man,
But
I had a wish list, man. And again, we'll start off with something just kind of a little hobby, man. It's crazy. And I joke around with a couple other people that been on here. I'm like, yo, I got like folks calling me like, yo, I'm a legend, man. I'm basically wanting some airtime. I'm like, it wasn't even meant to be all that, man. But it's cool, and I'm humbled by all that, man. I like I said, I think I had my wish list, and one of those things, man, was like you guys here, as far as just kind of obviously the Kroger piece, but as ironically, I got you too, because I probably out of that team and outside of Anthony, I probably had the longest
Yeah.
relationships with when you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
No
about, you
doubt.
know, baseball and you talk about all that other stuff too, man. And then obviously,
Yeah.
you know, me and Kev went at it, whether it was football and then turn
Yeah.
around basketball season. You
Yeah.
know,
Totally.
Kev only beat me once in high school in any sport. Yeah, like
Okay.
yeah,
Rub it
and
in
I was
on him. Rub it
yeah,
in on
and
him.
that was that football,
Uh-huh.
and that was the football game. It was the football
That's
game.
a football game.
It was the
But I
football
know I
game, man.
did come to that
But
immaculate gym one of them years, and I dropped a good amount of points in that on that
Oh yeah,
court.
you
That's for
did, you did.
sure.
But when it's all said and done, that W, man, came to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely came to you. Got to
that's
give you
amazing.
that.
But hold up. I don't get it. And y'all both stopped playing baseball?
I played
Both
Yeah,
of y'all
man. I
was
kind
great
of
in baseball and y'all stopped?
I
Like,
played freshman
what the
year and I played senior year. I didn't play
okay.
sophomore and junior year. I did play my senior
yeah.
year. Did you play at all, Kev?
Wow.
No, I didn't play at all in high school. I just
Wow.
dedicated it to the basketball and the football. I did like 1 year track, but I actually wasn't good in track.
And now he running marathons.
Yeah, you see that right
Yo,
there? You see that?
well that's
You see-
well that's
Running
the thing,
marathons.
right? Like football really is like three sports in one. Football is like football and track and powerlifting, like like weightlifting, like all in one sport. And I'm just thinking, I'm African American, like I play football, like my track events is 100, 200, that's it. But those really wasn't my events. What I was really good at was probably, the 5,000 meter, the 5K, the longer distances. That's what I found out later on in life, is that actually speed wasn't really my thing. I had quick feet, which was good for football, but actually my strength was just the engine to run long distances. You know what I mean? So
wow,
that's what that was.
And
wow.
and let me ask you guys, even obviously, post high school. I mean, what happens from there? You guys graduate, you walk across the stages. Like, what happens to you guys then?
Yeah.
Well, for myself, it's funny. I went down to Florida A&M.
Okay.
Mm.
And that's crazy because Shea Miller was, I think, a senior. Daryl, and who got me down there was Daryl Elder. Remember Daryl Elder?
I remember. Rest in peace.
Daryl Elder went down. He was like, D, you should put down, man. You'd be like little Dave Megan down there, man. And I had other schools that won a lot of D2 schools, and then I had it was Fordham, schools like that. I mean, I had decent grades. My mom's one was on me on grade wise.
Yeah.
So I wound up saying, and I was in Alabama A&M with my mom went to school. And my thing is, well, when I got down to Florida A&M, I was like, woo!
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah. But I wanted to play baseball.
Okay.
And when I wanted to go play baseball at Fordham, they was like, they wasn't gonna let me play football. But when I went down to Florida A&M, they were like, the coach was like, you wanna play baseball? I was like, huh? I said, who was that? He's like, that's the baseball coach. And I was like, if I play baseball, I'm coming here. Mm-hmm. I'm coming. But and that's why I went. I went down to Florida A&M, and then I broke my shoulder.
Okay.
I snapped my shoulder in half 2 years. Then I came home. I was one of them guys that was depressed. Didn't know how to take, and I speak to a lot of young guys now. Like my father used to always tell me, good as you are, doesn't mean you're gonna make it to the league. My father was one of the ones that let you know, why you there, get your education. What are you gonna study? I was like, well, business. And then he said sport, anything can happen in sports. Right. And it did. And it got me down for a little bit. But then I said, you know what? Like my father said, it wasn't meant to be. So I went and got my education. I went to school with Will Packer. You know what I'm saying? Like I think about jokers that went to school there. And I finished up, man, and got my business degree. I own my own cleaning business now. I still work for the city for 25 years. I'm blessed, man. I have fun. And guess what, guys? I'm coming out of retirement this year and playing for my semi-pro league. So
Let's get it.
Yes.
All right,
I'm playing baseball. You're gonna see me. I'm gonna post it. But yeah, that's what it was. Left school and went down there, and man, let me tell you, I had some fun. It didn't last long, but thank God for my father and mother that put it in my mind now, like I put it in my kids. Everybody don't make it.
Right. That's right.
But while you there, have fun. And my dad used to put it in me. You know where it's gonna benefit from? How you play in Cobras and how you played in high school, if you get to the point when I don't have to pay for college for you, that's the main thing. Somebody else paying for your education.
And let's be clear, I mean, Mr. Williams is one of those dads that was
rest in peace, Mr. Williams. Yeah, exactly. OG extraordinary. I'm sure you do, man.
I just love those fathers
the rides
that was
home.
Involved.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
active parent, you know what I'm saying, was right there with. I mean, basically, he was one of our coaches. Let's talk about it. He was one of our coaches. You know what I mean? So for me, man, college was so as a senior, the colleges that was knocking on my door was the Lehighs, the Lafayettes, the Bucknells, the West Points, and the University of Maine. So, with all those other schools, they're like in the Patriot Leagues where, they're not giving out scholarships, they're giving out financial aid packages. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny because all those schools, and part of my thing was, my running mate, Kevin Tucker, he was a great athlete as well, but he was also an incredible student. Mm-hmm. So it was like a package kind of a deal. When the schools came to see Kevin, they came to see me, they came to see both of us. And because he was super smart, he had those, almost like, to me, they were like Ivy League schools knocking on the door. So, I could have gone to any of those schools, Lehigh, Lafayette, Bucknell, West Point. My grades wasn't good enough for West Point. I could have got into those other schools, but academically, I didn't have enough confidence in myself that I would be able to actually handle those schools. So I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So, Maine came with the money. And when I looked at my parents, I was like, nah, I gotta do you guys right. And I gotta go, with the school that's giving me the most scholarship money. And that was the University of Maine. And actually I remember, Eb, I thought on a recruiting trip, I thought I ran into you.
Yeah, we because I went to prep school in Maine. That's how, because then when I went up to visit Maine, obviously you were there, but I did the postgraduate year. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, where did you wind up going?
I went to Southern Connecticut. Where I wound up playing.
Wow.
I wound up playing. I did the prep school, the PG year, the postgraduate year. But after that, man, crazy as it was, man, I was like, I'm good. Like as far as football and sports or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. You know what I mean? So, but I still wound up just obviously just going to school, what have you. There.
Oh wow, you went to school. I visited there. It's crazy. Me and my boy, I don't know, you must have went to prep school that year because, like I said, y'all ahead of me.
No,
my
Vlad,
boy, Vladimir.
Vlad was there.
Yeah,
right.
I was thinking about that too at the time, but it was more about baseball.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. Damn, could have been up to school together there too.
Yeah,
no,
crazy.
That's great.
Nah,
but it was a great experience. I mean,
now you stayed there all state. You graduated from there, Kev, or you wound up transferring, or?
Nah. So here's the thing, right? And this is if any kids ever watch this, this podcast or whatever the case may be, this is a good lesson. Like, college athletics is a business in many ways, right? And African American athletes are a commodity. And the guy that recruited me was the head coach, Kirk Ferentz, who has been at Iowa for many, many years. That was the guy who recruited me. And when Kirk Ferentz left the University of Maine, you know how that goes, right? When a coach recruits you and they leave, you kind of get out of favor with that school, that organization. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about loyalty, and I felt that. So I had a couple things going on when I went to Maine. Number one, I didn't like the cold. I did not like playing in a cold weather state. That was number one. Number two, the coach that recruited me left. And number three, your boy fell in love and had a baby at the age of 20.
Okay.
Oh, we don't want to talk about them days.
You know what I mean? So when your boy had a baby at the age of 20, I mean, I really did some soul searching and looked in the mirror. And for me, I was like, I got to really get serious about making sure I actually get this degree and actually have a future for my son. And I really felt like it was hard being a student athlete because the demands of a college athlete are so intense.
Yes, it is.
And to be honest with you, I felt like they didn't really care about whether you got your degree or not. They didn't want you to actually major in anything like business, or they wanted to I felt like they wanted to steer you towards, physical education or some rinky dink degree, just to say, I felt, that's how I felt. So I felt like I kind of, the love of the game kind of went away when I got to college, because I really felt like they don't care about me. They just care about what I can do for their university. And I don't even know if I'm even going to be able to graduate from this school, if I put all my eggs in this basket. But, I tip my hat off to college athletes, because it's just so hard, man. It's so hard to pursue your dreams and your passions and get that degree and get that piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? So I basically just gave up the game. I literally walked away from the game after my sophomore year, and I just called it a career. And I just transferred to the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, and I just became a student, just a straight up student, just to make sure I graduated, and got that paper. But in hindsight, I do feel like, I was depressed. Like you said, Daryl, like the rest of those years of graduating, I was extremely depressed without that sport. Because again, growing up in Essex County all day,
yes, sir.
Being involved in sports was a way of life. and just being a regular student and just being like an average person, it didn't sit well with me. Like I was missing it. I didn't even know what I was missing. And that's when you get involved with the, you know what I'm saying, smoking the weed, drinking, partying, that whole thing. And I got wild those last years in college. You know what I'm saying? I got super wild. And then I got married young. Okay. So because I had the child, you know what I'm saying, I got married at 23, you know what I'm saying? And I'm, as soon as I graduated from college, I get married and, I'm doing the family thing. And I'm still depressed, from the age of 23 to 38, I'm trying to learn how to be a father, learning how to be a husband, learning how to be a professional in this corporate America thing and all that. And I was still missing something. I was still missing, like, what is it that I'm missing, And now I'm overweight. Now I got high blood pressure. Now I got high cholesterol, all that stuff. And that's how the whole running thing came into play. Because basically it was like, basically I had a conversation with God and God was just telling me like, I gave you these gifts and your gifts were athleticism. I need you to tap back into that because that's who you are. That's your identity. You know what I mean? And so, so from that, I was like, okay, well, I'm an old man now, I'm 38, what sport is there to play? What sport is there to get into to tap back into that thing? And for me, it was running, because when I look back on all the athletic things, the running is the foundation of all the sport, for me. So I was like, okay, let me just get back into, let me, just get active again. Point blank, period. Just stay active. Don't be on the couch and live your dreams through the NBA, through the NFL, through college football. Like actually get out off the couch, stop living. And I used to love watching the combine and just thinking like, man, if I had a chance to, be in that NFL combine, you know what I'm saying? I said, nah, you know what? I'm not gonna live vicariously through other people. I'm just gonna start getting out there and just doing what I can do as an older person. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. That's good. That's what it is.
That's good.
Nah, that's good money, man. And you done took off with that, man. Every time I turn around, man, you run in Boston, New York.
Yeah,
LA.
you see that?
I don't know York marathons. I don't know if you man. Like I commend you, McCat. That's great, man. Just kind of just locking in and just doing all. But that kind of adds to the question actually for both you guys, man. As far as with sports, man, what sticks to y'all like as far as in your life today, like being involved in sports?
You know what? Let me put being in sports, man. It was everything. And now that I have kids, and now I had my oldest son was a decent ball player and went out to Linden and did his thing. And now my middle son is 6'1" and he's in college now. And I watched him get up and go, and he's watching, listening to me. And now my daughter is so athletic; it's unbelievable to see the things that she's doing. So sports to me is everything. Everything. I even get back to some of the kids that I see now up in Montclair, and I go talk to a lot of kids that went through Montclair High to talk about that Montclair pride. And to be honest with you, without sports, I wouldn't know what I'll be doing, man. To this day, like I keep telling you, I'm about to come out of retirement and play baseball now and see if I still got it. So, to your question, Ed, sports is everything. Everything, man. And I can keep saying it's so much I can say, but I guess as long as I got air in my body, man, I'm gonna always get back to kids. And if kids need gloves or cleats, I'm out here trying to do certain things out here to get back so some of these kids can have the opportunity to play sports, because like Kev said and you said, it takes you a long way. And at the end of this, it's about these kids getting an education. And I tell these kids, if their parents don't tell them, I'll tell you, you ain't going to make it. You're not going to be that kid. You might not make the NFL. These kids, people need to hear this. But do just enough in sports to get you a scholarship, do your education to get you to college so somebody can pay you. But like you said, Kev, my son realizes it now. To go to school, and he's a criminal justice major in science, and he's to play sports and work out. It's a business, and you got to put your head on your shoulders and get through it. So, but like I said, man, sports, I don't want to, Kev, you go ahead, but sports is everything, man. I thank God we had the opportunity to get through it and play it and take advantage of the opportunities that we did have.
No doubt.
Nah,
Yeah.
real stuff, man. What's it giving you, Kev?
Man, sports, man. Just I'm appreciative, man, of everything that sports has done for me. I mean, it's opened up opportunities and opened up doors and made a way. Like, I feel like I have a competitive advantage over other people in society because of simple things like my work ethic. Like, my work ethic is outstanding because of what was instilled in me throughout all the sports that I played. So I feel like I have an advantage there. Then when you talk about teamwork, like you can't accomplish nothing great in this world without teamwork.
Yeah.
One man, show me one man that's done it all by themselves. So for me, teamwork is everything, and even being in the profession that I'm in, where, I'm a manager and I have my own team, people reporting to me, like, I treat them like they're my team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm their coach. And I just, like, you could talk about teamwork, but until you've actually been a part of a team and really know team dynamics and what it's like to be in a huddle and what it's like to count on the person next to you and what it's like to play to your strengths and also work on your weaknesses at the same time. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, all the lessons that I learned on the football field, on the basketball field, on the baseball field, I still use all those skills to this day. Like, it's all applicable. And I feel like I have an advantage over other people in our society that never played a team sport or don't know what it's like, even how I relate to other cultures. Like I say, like, for me, being involved in sports at Glen Ridge, man, them white boys treated me lovely, man. Like, nobody never called me out of my name. Nobody ever disrespect me. To this day, I still have great relationships with, the guys that I play with. And even at Maine, like, I could go on down the line, like, so many different cultures, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's where you learn how to relate to people of all shapes, sizes, colors, you know what I'm saying? Creeds, all that. Like, so, man, I just grateful, man, grateful.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. That's good stuff, man. I'm gonna have some fun with y'all. I know it's a Sunday night and it's getting late or whatever have you, but before y'all fade out, we fade out here, man. Just have some fun here. I'll put you guys on the spot a little bit. As far as when y'all both in y'all whips in New Jersey, we doing the Parkway or the Turnpike?
Hey, listen, I'm doing the Parkway, man. I'm
man.
the Turnpike.
For me, it depends on where we going. Hey, if we going down to if we going to Atlantic City, I'm gonna take the Parkway. Okay. But if I'm going to New York, I'm gonna get on the Turnpike, get on that Lincoln Tunnel.
You mess with that Turnpike if you want.
Yeah, what I said. I'm on the Parkway. I'll remember that Turnpike, man.
Cool.
But I listen. I know we're about to be off this, man. But Ev, I gotta give you credit once again, brother. I thank you for reaching out to us, man. And I know we're supposed to be here and talk about this Cobra thing, but we've been friends a long time. This is like having a conversation over the phone, and people might listen to this podcast like what they talk about, but this is friendship since we were 7, 8, 9 years old. So it's deeper than a lot of people know. So, and once again, I wish Anthony was here on this thing, but Eb, I want to thank you, my brother. I thank you. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing.
You ain't getting off real quick. You ain't getting off that easy, man.
Listen, I know, but I just want to make sure.
Nah, I appreciate
I'm giving you your props, man. I thank you for what you're doing. The great athlete you were, and I thank God we came up in Essex County the way we did. And this is about the Essex County being great athletes. And brother, we were some great athletes. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
For all our high schools we play with, and listen, and that Cobra team is still the greatest New Jersey football team out here ever.
Good stuff,
we'll tear
man.
whoever y'all thought y'all was, we would have tore y'all back out. All right, go ahead.
It's all good. It's all good. Us being all orange folks here, we go on Central Ave or Main Street?
Main Street. I'm at Magic Fountain. And sandwiches unlimited. Magic Fountain sandwiches unlimited. Yes.
I'm gonna go Central Ave just because it was in close proximity. Don't forget about the record stores on Central Ave too. Now that record store was serious. But to be honest with you, man, I go from Park Ave to Main Street to Central Ave to South Orange Ave to Springfield Ave. I went covered all the
over,
bases.
man. Absolutely. And Daryl kind of stole the next one here. I was gonna say sandwiches or White Castles.
Oh, sandwiches all day, brother. All day.
All day.
All day. And it was between, and it's crazy y'all talking about because I follow you and I'm stay up on it. And I hear Shay Mel talk about that chicken cutlet. But that chicken cutlet or that double time cheeseburger, brother,
cheese,
it was a flip of a coin. That double cheese was on money.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go the other way, man. I'm going with the murder burgers, man. Come on now. I'm gonna go with that kangaroo meat, boy. About that.
It really wasn't kangaroo meat. That was horse meat. They lied.
Yeah, good stuff, man. You guys need a night out. We going 88. We going Peppermint. What we doing?
Oh, I'm 88. Oh man,
we gotta
I'm
go to
going
88.
Yeah,
you gotta go 88.
The Peppermint, you gotta be a little. It was a little older. I mean, I was there, but I enjoyed like Club 88, man. Oh man, Club 88 all day.
No, yes. I was going to the Peppermint to get my soul food. That's when they had the little soul food spot on the side.
Going in the back.
Yeah, that's right. But 88, great memories, man. Talk about some memories. What?
Yeah.
House
crazy. I gotta say one thing about the Peppermint. I was in it that one day and I'm like, yo, who is this dude walking on the table? Like, who is this? It was Shaquille O'Neal walking in. Yeah, man. Yes. Wow. I'll never forget that. Shaquille O'Neal, this dude was huge. That's about the only thing about the Peppermint, but nah, brother. 88 all day. That's where all the ladies was at.
Yes, sir.
That's why I got my first little grind on in the 88. When
Come on now.
Yeah, don't.
The floor was about.
The floor was moving. The floor was moving. I know it was moving. Yes, it sure was. Oh man, 88.
Nah, what
88.
Best games you ever played in your lives? Best game you ever played, no matter what level. What's the best game you ever played?
Baseball, football. I can't
take your pick. What's the best game you ever played? No matter what the sport is. What's the best game you ever played?
Okay. I'm gonna say this because this gonna be quick. The best games I played in my life was 3 games. When my coach Rivers pulled me in, and it was Paramus Catholic, Patterson East Side, and Bloomfield, the Thanksgiving game, last TV3 game. Okay. Those 3 games changed my life. But that first, my coach called me and said, Daryl, I'm not coming back to Montclair next year. These are your last 3 games. I'm giving you the ball as much as you want. And let me tell you something, fellas. I never cried so hard in a locker room in my life. Those last 3 games, I scored 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns each game. Those I combine those into one. Was my highlight to say I enjoyed it. I had fun. Yeah.
That's real, man. That's real.
That's what's up.
That's real.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with the theme, man. I'm gonna say best game was, with the Cobras in Florida.
You gonna do me like
national
that?
Championship. I'm just gonna put it right there.
Okay.
That trophy was as tall as down.
I
actually had that trophy at my house for a little while until I had to, bring it to Mr. Finney's house.
Yeah.
You know what, Ed? Y'all wrong, man. You know what? Rewind that. You know what? I take that back. Because I'm going to tell you why. That was the greatest. Because you got to remember, y'all, we were losing with 1 minute and 30 seconds left.
Talk about it.
And we needed a first. Listen,
we got that right now. That championship game, we blew them out. It was that Maryland game.
No, the Maryland. I'm going to Maryland game.
Okay.
The Maryland game was the best because y'all got to remember we don't beat that game. We don't get to the championship. So you're right because you got to remember they called the play in, and I said what? They wanted me to throw the ball to Jeremy. We needed 2 yards. If y'all remember, I got in the huddle and said, Anthony, get this 2 yards.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I handed the ball to Anthony. You tackled Anthony in the backfield, but they don't know how strong Anthony was. He went over and got them 2 yards, and then I hit Timmy Lee on a slant, and he took it to the house.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best. Listen, I'm putting that in with my 3 last games. Okay. That was the best. Yeah, but you're right. That championship, that Cobra team, that's forever, man. That's forever. That's the best.
That's
being with
it.
you guys, yep. That was
So
that. I'm
this
gonna put
might,
that in there.
so I'll probably answer my next one, man, because I was gonna say the best team you ever been on.
That
Yep.
Cobra team, ever. The athletes, all them athletes.
Yeah, we
If
could go
you'd have
down the
put
line
that
on that one.
team, if you'd have put that team in high school all together, all of us, man, we'd have been ranked #1 in the country. We'd have won states, man. Listen, I'm telling you, all of us. Yeah, but that Cobra team, the best team I ever played on, ever.
Yeah.
When it comes to my
Hands
Rotary
down.
Lion days, but that Cobra team was the best, man. That Cobra
Mhm.
team was awesome. Yeah,
Nah.
ain't nobody messing with us. Ain't nobody messing with us. I don't care where you
Talk
play
about
for,
it.
the Rams.
Yeah,
Talk that
Ballers.
talk.
Put that
Talk
stamp
that
on it.
talk.
There
Put
wasn't
that
too many
stamp
teams
on
that
it.
wanted to play us. I
Yeah.
remember being on the phone with Mr. Finney calling them coaches. Would y'all come play with us? We'll come. Coaches was like, nah,
Yeah.
nope.
Yeah.
Nah, they ain't want none of us.
Talk
They
about
want
it.
none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Cobra team. Yeah. That's it.
Well,
That
what
was
about you,
it.
Kev? What about you, Kev?
Yeah, I gotta go there. I give a second nod to that Essex Catholic freshman team for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
But I gotta go Cobras first and foremost because we brought home that championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought home
Now,
that championship.
someone who should have made it. I don't know if it's made it through high school or so that one kid that just something happened, just slipped through the cracks, man. Like something was environmental or whatever the case. That's someone that should have made it.
Me.
Okay.
I
Okay.
There we go.
Absolutely.
I put it on everything.
like that.
Me.
Absolutely.
Me. All my
That's
life
what's
I was
up.
doing this. Everything I did, play with the big boys, never scared. Father said, go out there and do it. Whatever you did, you get beat down, get back up, do it again. You think that guy's throwing a fastball, put it over the gate. You run faster, you harder than it's me. I mean, I don't know what happened. Was it? Listen, me.
Okay.
I slipped.
Yeah.
I
Real
slipped through them
shit,
cracks,
man.
man.
Real
Talk
shit.
about me. Yep.
Yeah. That's what's up. I don't know. I can't even call that one. If yeah, I can't even call that one. So you got me on that. But what I will say, I'll piggyback off of Daryl because man, me and Daryl go back so far, and I just wish we had more stuff on film because Daryl was just on the baseball thing. Daryl was hands down the MVP of our baseball teams. Like this brother,
Appreciate you, brother.
could hit.
Absolutely.
Like he was so consistent with at Metcalf Park, this brother was hitting home runs on a consistent basis, like balls out the park. Like he just had that bat.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if he wasn't hitting things out the park, he was hitting solid line drives like nobody's business. Like this man was an absolute incredible athlete.
No, he was. No, I second that. I second that.
You know, just a straight leader. I mean, he just had that swagger. It just was dripping all over him. Just, you know what I mean? It was ridiculous.
You something, boy.
Yeah.
You something.
Ridiculous.
I appreciate y'all.
So I salute. I salute.
Yeah, yo,
I put my hand on my heart. Yo, I love that. Yo. I'm telling you, man, I'm loving everything you're doing, man.
Nah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I got one more, man. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. It's kind of Kev. I know you guys both have actually adult sons, so this might you might already share this advice. But what would you guys at this age tell yourselves as far as at 18? What would y'all give advice? Daryl, would you give the 18-year-old Daryl? What advice would you give him? Kev, what would you give the 18-year-old Kev? What advice you would give him?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kev. I'm gonna let you go with that one.
No doubt. 18-year-old Kev, yo, stay focused. You know, number one, make sure you have a vision for your life. You know, the earlier you have a vision for your life and where you're trying to go, the sooner you can put a plan in place to execute against that vision. So I would just tell a young 18-year-old Kev to stay focused on what your goals and your dreams and your aspirations are, and don't let anything deter you from where you're headed. You know what I'm saying? Because there are so many distractions for an 18-year-old out here to keep you off of where God wants you to be at in your life. And that focus is key. man, if I had to do it all over again, I would have worked 10 times harder in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
I really was not. I wasn't good in the weight room. I'm just gonna
Weight
call
room.
it. I hated the weight room. But when I went to Maine, I was like, man, I gotta get serious with this weight room because these jokers, I'm like one of the smallest cats on the whole football team. You know, and then when it comes to speed and agility, now it's like if you want to be a serious about ball, you got to be on point with the speed and agility. So it's like, man, you got to know where you're trying to go with this thing, man. So yeah, stay focused, young 18-year-old, stay focused.
Yeah, you young guys, it's about family. And I would have told myself back then, and Anthony used to always say, you got to put God first.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be over here saying I was a knucklehead. I got caught up in some crazy mess that y'all probably won't know. We had to talk off air.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Okay.
And it messed up a lot of things with scholarships as well. So
Mhm.
you know, stay off them streets, man. And I would have definitely told myself to and piggyback what you said. I had a kid at 17 years old,
Mhm.
so I'm in high school with a son. So I would definitely tell myself to put God first, stay focused, and take that education while you have the opportunity. And just because you're an athlete and people are okay and everything, probably a couple tests I should have failed, but they passed me because I was just that athlete. I shouldn't have put that in their hands. So I would definitely go back and tell them to stay focused, put God first, and have more fun.
Yeah.
Have more fun, enjoy it more. Enjoy
Absolutely, man. Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. And I know I said a little bit earlier when we got on, man, like, you know, I want to thank you guys. And again, like I said, I wish
We thank you, brother.
The other guys could have been on, man. I appreciate it, man. But I just think as far as one, I think just in general, man, seeing three black men sitting here talking, you know, like we never missed a beat, you know, in regards to just, you know, talking in the locker room or in the car ride home or wherever the case is, man. And I just think, man, just in general, man, just to see what you guys have become. You talk about being young fathers, but that ain't stopped y'all yet. I mean, besides the roadblocks, whatever, y'all somehow got through them, man, and continue to be great men, man. And I know that's motto. I mean, obviously, Mr. Harris, we didn't talk about Mr. Harris a little bit. I know we talked
Mr.
about
Harris.
Mr. Williams or what have
Oh
you. But
man,
obviously,
yes sir.
you know, yeah, absolutely. But obviously, just family in general, mothers, everybody involved, man. But I thank you guys because you guys, that team, you know, again, I know I had to have an 8th grade team to be the best team I ever played on, but I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, and I talk about, you know, just life stuff, man. Life skills, you just make adjustments, you play your role. And I said it earlier, man, you be a star in your role. And, you know, and I think even in life, man, like, yo, you just make those adjustments and you move on to kind of get to the bigger picture. And that bigger picture with us back then was, man, hoisting that trophy up and then going crazy when we back in the hotel over at Disney, just having some fun, man. You know what I mean?
That was crazy too.
Never mind the forever bus rides, you know what I mean, that we took down there and back. But that didn't mean nothing, man. That was all part of it, man. That's just memories, man, as far as that goes, man. But I just say all that, man, like, you know, I really truly enjoyed like just kind of the camaraderie with you guys, but also obviously seeing you guys through the years. I know we had different points in as far as communicating. Kev, obviously, I know I've competed against you a little bit more, you know, in regards to high school and all that stuff too. And then obviously Daryl, just, you know, continue with the link with Ant, you know, and obviously seeing you grow and you being around the corner. I'm in Dodgetown, you're right there in Alden, you know. So
Dodgetown's finest.
Yes, sir.
One of them. I will just a bunch of other old heads.
Okay,
too,
what
man.
you say? The greatest athlete to ever leave out of Dodgetown. You can talk what you want to talk.
Nah, man. There's a bunch of as a list of those who didn't make it, man. I would put way ahead of me, man. But I know you. I mean, just obviously being right there, you know. Again, always seeing you guys, and it was just one of those things too. And you guys have seen some of these, but my thing was just making sure I was on my toes, just make sure when y'all mentioned Ib's name, it was always something good to bring up, whether it was athletically or just as a person. I'd rather take that as a person than the athlete stuff. You know what I mean? Just kind of just making sure, like I said, I was good and everything else. So that was kind of my main thing, man. Just making sure with you guys and everybody else, like, yo, Ib is all right, but I think Ib being all right is because all you guys helped make me, man, and everybody, man. It's just big cluster just clay and everything just come together, man. So I just
Okay,
sincerely just
brother.
like you guys being officially y'all helped me be officially me, man. And I'm so thankful to just still have these relationships and being able to just get up, have a conversation with you guys. I don't care if it's on here or us picking up the phone or whatever the case is, man. But I truly, truly am like, appreciative of you guys and my admiration for you guys, man. That's never wavered not 1 second, man. I truly enjoy watching you guys and just not only the athlete, but as men. So I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
Absolutely.
brother. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Salute you.
Absolutely.
Yo, man, listen, I
Salute.
know you cut, I know
Salute.
you killing us off, but I'm gonna tell people like I tell we ain't getting no younger, fellas. And I always
Yeah.
used to say this. After I lost Anthony, I would love for us to all get together once in a while, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
And
let this
listen,
thing
'cause
safe
when
up.
you
Let
telling,
this thing, yeah.
listen, I'll drive to Connecticut. Kev, where you at? Where you at? New
I'm in
Jersey?
Charlotte right now. I'm in
You in
Charlotte.
Charlotte? Listen, ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong getting on a plane. Listen, this is
Yeah.
what I tell people. We got to take time out. We can't make
Yes.
excuses for
You're
anything
right.
because life is short. And
Yes.
and if it's families or we all do it, men get together once in a while, brother. We got to do these things, man. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I always say life is short. We
No
got to
doubt.
enjoy it. And I don't want nobody to make
Totally.
excuses. The guys that can't stop for a minute to
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on the guys that y'all didn't jump on this to speak and take time out. You gotta
Yeah.
take time out in life, man, and
No
speak
doubt.
to your brothers.
No
Nah,
doubt.
And
you absolutely
No
do,
doubt.
man.
we gotta
And
make sure we
Daryl,
got each other's numbers.
absolutely. And I got a solid to ask though too. Obviously I've been having all guys, man. I need some females, man. I need your wife. I need a head coach of a perennial high school basketball team, man. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I need
Yeah.
to
Yo,
talk
my
to some
wife will
people.
love that. My wife will
Yes.
Absolutely.
love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my
I
wife.
need a
Yes.
county champ. I need a county champ.
Listen,
Oh man.
Listen, she putting girls up in college. We got one in Penn State. We got another one at
Yeah.
a lot of D1 schools. My wife is doing a lot at West Orange High School, man, and I got a good
That's what's
group of
up.
girls right now that's doing their thing, man. And I'm proud of her because she's the first black. Well, she's the first black African American to win counties, win sectional.
Sick.
Like she's doing her thing, man. So
Wow.
Absolutely, man. I need that. I know the
yeah,
season just ended this weekend, so let
yeah,
her.
that 15 game mess. But I
Yeah.
can look that up for you. We can talk. We'll text
No,
and try to hook that up together. Yeah,
absolutely, man.
yeah.
Absolutely. This for all of y'all, man. Again, hopefully everybody, like I said, your families are safe. I know things are starting to open up, but still gotta be mindful, man, with everything,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Hopefully
man. Yeah.
everybody's safe, sound, and like I said, just kind of just trying to, push through with all this stuff, man. And thank you guys. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. Like, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Hey, brother, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes,
Appreciate
indeed.
that. I love both of y'all, man. Y'all be
Nah, I
good.
love
Oh
y'all too,
Be
man.
man.
It's
blessed.
all love.
And let's find a way to get together, man.
Totally,
Okay.
totally. No, we'll talk, y'all.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
All right, no
Yeah,
doubt.
good
What's up?
looking.
Salute.
Peace, fellas.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.
All right.
Man, good stuff, man. That's what this is all about, man. Like I said, just paying homage and just enjoying that company, man. Sometimes those gaps in life, man, as far as just connecting with people, what have you. Daryl said it probably best, man. Like, no excuses. I mean, obviously we got, the virtual world, but once everything open up, man, just see people more or whatever the case is and what have you, man. Like I said, best team I ever been on, but better yet, man, even better friends, better, peers, what have you, man. So like I really, really truly enjoyed this, man. So man, till next go round, man. I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. We'll rock on again. That's what it is. All right.